Welcome to this SmartSAM tutorial. Today we're going to look at Shopify and how to integrate SmartSAM with Shopify so that it can do live lookups of your products, including whether they're in stock or not, and also ingesting all the articles that you have, pages that you have from your Shopify store so that SmartSAM is able to intelligently have conversations with your store visitors. So the first thing that we need to do is make sure that we're in the SmartSAM dashboard, which we're already in here, and then go to Skills. There are two ways of integrating SmartSAM with Shopify. There is a Storefront API and an Admin API. Today we're going to focus on the Storefront API. Both of them give very similar functionality. The Storefront API is easier to set up. Some people already use the Admin API, which is why they prefer to use it, but we are going to focus today on Storefront API. So click on the card for that to take you in, and you'll see that you require two key bits of information to link SmartSAM up to your Shopify, and that is your full store domain, which is the myshopify.com version, not your public domain that you may be using on the store, and also your API access token. So I'm going to take you through how to get both of those bits of information and set up accordingly. So let's go to Shopify. The first thing we need to do is go into settings, and under settings we're going to go into sales channels. So in the list here you've got your standard sales channels. If you already have headless in here, then you don't need to install it, but I'm going to install it because I don't have it. So I go to the Shopify App Store and I search for headless. And there is a Shopify app called Headless, which we're going to install. And once that's installed, it's going to automatically direct us to a page to set up a storefront. So here we go. So effectively what you're doing with this is you're setting up a programmatical access to your store. So rather than a user in a browser, it's so that another application is able to access the information about your store, which is how SmartSAM interacts with it. So we're going to click Create Storefront, which will create an instance. So it will take your store's name and then it will put headless at the end of it. It's not really the best way of labeling it up, so I'm just going to rename it to SmartSAM Storefront and save that in. And then we need to configure the Storefront API. So click Manage on the Storefront API. And the first piece of information that we require is now visible. So the access token we want is this public access token. So we're going to copy that. And we're going to go back to the SmartSAM dashboard. And we're going to paste in the Storefront API access token. So then we go back to Shopify. The next thing we need to do is to configure the API permissions. So if you're already using headless and you've already got things set up, just be careful to not untick anything that you're already dependent on. But I'm going to take you through what we need for SmartSAM. So we actually need the first two roles, which is unauthenticated read product listings and unauthenticated product inventory. But we don't need the other two under the product section. We don't need access to customers. If you want to pull in articles, blogs, pages, then we do need the unauthenticated read content, but we don't need any other roles at all, so you can untick them all. So it's just those three that we want ticked, and we're going to click Save. So we now have access to the bits that we need within Shopify. The next thing is we need to grab that domain name. So if we go back to Settings, go into Domains, you'll see your My Shopify domain listed at the top of your store, and if you click into it you can easily copy and paste from the top of the page. And then if we go back into SmartSAM and paste that in, we now have the two pieces of information that we require in SmartSAM. But I'm going to go back to Shopify because there's one last step that we need to perform. When you set up a new storefront, a headless storefront, it will auto add all of the products into that storefront. So if we go into your products, so this is just some test stuff that we have in here. If I click into one of those, under the publishing, you'll see that the product is available in the online store, and by default it's auto-added it to the SmartSAM storefront. So if you don't want SmartSAM to be able to tell your customers about all of the products, you will need to untick that slider box, and then that product will then, once you've saved it, not be available. I actually have one in here which is a coming soon product, which I'm going to take out. So if I go in, untoggle the box, click done, and hit save, SmartSAM is now not going to present information around this mineral block. It's not visible to it. If you've got products and you want to go through and do it in bulk, you can select them and do a bulk edit. When you're in this screen, the column that you need by default is not visible. So under publishing, just enable the sales channel column, expand it a bit so you can see what's in there. And you can see that for all the products and the iterations of your products and variants, you can effectively adjust each one as you're going along, doing it really quickly at pace, and then you can save, and it will save all of the changes that you've made to all of the products. Okay, so that's the products added. So if I go back to SmartSAM dashboard, I'll have the 2 bits of information required. They're both inserted. I also have some bits at the bottom to do quickly. Do I want it to only show products that are in stock and therefore filter out the out of stock? In this demo, I don't, but you can toggle that on if you desire it. Also, if you're selling different products in different countries, then we have locale routing set up within SmartSAM. We're not going to go through that in this easy tutorial. So I'm just going to say use the store default, and it will effectively use whatever's visible in Shopify, and it will present all the products. But there will be a separate video for locale if you want to set up locale and you've got things that you're presenting in some countries and not others, and also in some languages. So let's save those. In fact, sorry, before I save those changes, let's click the preview products. That will confirm that our connection to Shopify is working. So there you go. It's pulled in some example products from our store, which is great. So I'm going to go and save that. You can enable it here, but you can also enable it on the main screen. And SmartSAM is now able to talk to your products. So if I load our SmartSAM and I just ask a very generic question like, what do you sell? SmartSAM is going to go off and query the Shopify store, and it's going to bring back a product listing of your 7 best selling products. So it will display them in a carousel. So you get them in carousel, and they should be in your order of best selling to downwards in terms of popularity for the top 7 that you've got. You can be more specific, so you can see in here that it calls out that we've got products for different animals. So I'm just going to say, what about for horses? So it's now going to use the context of the previous question that we're talking about products, and it's going to go and query Shopify for any product that includes horses. So here it's brought back 2. If I click one of these, it will launch me into the Shopify site onto that product. So that's all working, and all we had to do was those couple of little steps in the SmartSAM dashboards, and it was nice and easy. Let's go and now pull in the web pages and articles off of that Shopify store. So to do that, we have to go into the knowledge section, and we have to add a new knowledge source. And of course, we're going to add Shopify, and we want to use Storefront because that's what we've set up. So again, here you just need to paste in, the same information that we pasted into the other. So Storefront and the token, and you have to determine how often you want to refresh the knowledge information that you're pulling in. Word of note on this, you are charged SmartSAM tokens for the ingestion of knowledge. So don't make this too aggressive because obviously you'll burn through credits. And also, if you are updating information weekly and it's valuable, don't set it too far the other way and make it too long because you'll be missing information for a few weeks, which isn't ideal. So in the scenario for the demo, I'm just going to set it to weekly, but do set it accordingly. You can also do it manually. So you don't have to do it on a schedule. You can set it up and go and pull it manually whenever you want. That's fine. If you've got multiple Shopify stores and you're pulling from one particular one here, you can label them. So I can just call this one Demo Store Shopify. and then add it. And as soon as I add it, it will go off and start talking to the APIs for your new storefront, and it will start pulling it. So you'll see that articles are coming in. When the buttons are grayed out, it's importing. So when the buttons come back to life, the import has finished. You can actually see it in real time as it's putting articles in there, and you can actually review the information that it's brought in by clicking the I button at the end of any line that it's brought in, any page, and it will give you the content that it's pulled in from that page. So let me just bring this back up. We can see the buttons become available. It's brought in 46 articles off of the site, so that's successfully completed. And we can see in there we've got some information in French. We've got some UK-based stuff as well. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for one of the articles. So here we've got an article which is a recipe for some pumpkin popsicles, and we're gonna make sure that SmartSAM knows about it. So I'm going to go straight back here. No need to refresh. Everything is live. So I'm just going to ask it, do you have any recipes that use pumpkins? And SmartSAM is going to dive into its database and it's going to pull that back. Yep, I found a pumpkin recipe, frozen pumpkin popsicles made with plain pumpkin puree, and it gave us a link to the article, which is great. So if users want to click through and go into your page, that's how you do it. When you deploy SmartSAM on your Shopify store, you can deploy it in two ways. You can just deploy it in this full screen version on a page on your Shopify store, and you can also, like we've done here in this demo, you can put it in as a chatbot pop-up, and all of that's customizable. We'll cover all of that in another video. But in terms of setting up SmartSAM and being able to talk to our data, that's the end of this tutorial. Thank you.